So Moulin Rouge, true beauty, freedom,
Sure.
love were at the core of life and heart. But for you, what does it mean art now? You know, after 2 decades, is the same or you have
I
changed it?
mean, the Greeks would say that art, by definition, or art in the dictionary, is just means doing something really, really well. But, and I think that's true, that holds true, is doing something really well. But I think that for me, it's expression. You know, it's like truth, beauty, freedom, and love. I mean, I still believe in that philosophy. Absolutely. Probably more than ever, actually, having just turned 60, living in a world that is spinning, that we knew would become somewhat, you know, the tectonic plates of history would smash together. And so we're in a world where nobody knows anything. We now are really clear after COVID, war in Europe. No one's really in charge. So where do you go when that happens? And philosophically, truth, beauty, freedom, and love, but art or expression, which I believe is just inherent in everyone. And I think segueing into the reason I've become part of this initiative is because, you know, I'm at a point in my journey where I'm not beginning it, you know, and if in any way I can help in this world where people feel very disconnected and very not in control, find the ability within themselves or out in the world around them to express, create, communicate, then that's some sort of positive step. That seems to me answering the question in my mind a lot at the moment is, can I do anything that's positive for others?
And so connecting to this aspect, how so this made me this was born, as you were saying, is a way to connect people even more. Like, it's weird, we are connected via Zoom. I still, after 2 years, I still don't know where I have to look you in your eyes, but you feel the connection in any sense. So was at the core of the project as well?
I think so. I mean, look, the worst possible, I mean, there are a lot of human states, but I think one of the worst is loneliness. And what a spinning world, or a world where you don't really know where it's going, what's happening, is you start to feel alone. And one of the things, the primary gestures of art, of expression, is not to feel alone. Now, the saw this, made this, it might seem like a simple idea, and it is, but it's heralding, it's screaming out to anyone to say, look, just look at the world around you. You might get up every day and it looks the same. But in the ordinary, see something extraordinary and just be inspired to make something. It doesn't need to be a film because I'm known as a filmmaker. It doesn't need to be a cocktail because Bombay Sapphire is involved. It can be, but it could be a piece of furniture. It could be a collage. It could be a piece of clothing. But what it has to be is inspired by the world around you. And what, with the resources that we've got, we've been able to do is to link up with the Design Museum of London and the curator there and some other great institutions, and be sure that your gesture or your creativity isn't just put out into the wilderness. Our job will be to look at it, and I will shine light on it, on those examples that really speak to us, I will. And at the end, on World Creativity Day in April, is to have an exhibition, like a physical exhibition of these things, these creative gestures.
And since you were talking about creativity, there are some places in Italy in which you find creativity. Since I'm Italian, I gotta ask, you know.
Yeah, I've been in Italy a lot recently. I was there. I ran away to southern Italy. I had a friend having a birthday down there. I'm in Italy a lot, but we got right down as far as Gallipoli in a kind of crazy runaway. So it was cool.
And you chosen also a young talent band of rock stars, Italian rock stars, the Maneskin for
I
for
absolutely adore
this.
them. I adore them, and I've seen them a lot actually. I've seen them professionally, and I ran into them socially in London. But I really believe in their talent. I mean, they own themselves. What I love about Maneskin is that they seem to be really evolved and mature in their own aesthetic and their own ideas, but they're actually really young. And so when you I caught up with them in Coachella. Of course, I worked with them that night. We did a little show in Cannes. They own that aesthetic, and they, it's of course hugely influenced by glam rock, and it's hugely influenced by other things, but there's something very much their own. And I just think, when you think about the saw this, made this, or what a creative reaction is, I'm always uplifted when you see something that is both old and new. That's what I work in a lot. I take things that seem old and rusty, and I flip them over and try and make them new again.
And so just my last question would be for the younger generation, how do you think should be the outlook of a new filmmaker? What do you can suggest with your experience to the people that are approaching right now to this job? How their outlook should be on this art?
One of the things that Francis Ford Coppola, who was a great friend of mine, and when I was young, he really looked out for me. He made films that I loved, like Apocalypse Now and Godfather and things like that. And he said, at some point in the future, every person will be able to make a movie, because he thought, oh, well, everyone will have a video camera. Video was brand new then. They were like the size of a bus, And he didn't imagine that a powerful 4K camera video would be in everyone's phone, or could be in everyone's phone. And the self-empowerment of that means that no one has an excuse not to get out and make a movie. Now, the question is, what's it about? What should it be? And my only counsel is exactly what this campaign is saying, which is look at the world around you. And it's got to filter through you. It's personal because it's you. It's not what's there. That's not what we're asking in the campaign. We're asking, what do you, underline the word, what do you see? What do you see? Because what you see is not going to be what I see. So my counsel to young filmmakers is just don't wait for permission. Like, writing a script takes a piece of paper and a pencil. So if it was easy, everyone would do it. So that's really hard. And if you can't do it, get with a friend. And, my best friend became my writing partner just because I kept writing. I just said, like, I really need someone to help me, and so you never know where that creative energy is going to come from. Could be a person you've known all your life happens to be good at X or Y, so that is it. My counsel to young filmmakers, to young creatives, Maneskin's a really good touchstone because they didn't wait and say, okay, what's charging right now? Let's copy it. They obviously saw something and made the band.
Be original and be rebellious, I think.
Exactly right. Exactly right.